I try not to be too petty, but because there's a deeper cultural implication, I do indulge myself a little bit of irritation when someone uses CE or BCE when they're describing a date. The traditional and correct, I insist, correct way to refer to a date in the calendar is either BC, before Christ, or AD. AD standing for Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of our Lord. Some people think that AD means after death, which is convenient, though incorrect. It's just not what it stands for. But in either way, the significance of those nomenclature is that they are explicitly Christian, right? They're referring to the story of Jesus as outlined in the Bible to describe our years, which is a beautiful thing, because our history is the story of God exercising his will on earth, the earth that he created. So it's highly fitting that we should circumscribe our years with language that puts them into context of God's story. It's a good thing. And so, of course, the insipid Marxist liberals who hate everything that has the mark of God upon it have tried to secularize even this and said, well, no, we're going to refer to it as CE, Common Era, or BC, before Common Era. But there's one point of irony in this. What defines the start of the Common Era? Why does Common Era happen to start at 1 AD? What happened in 1 AD? Now, of course, don't come for me. I understand Jesus wasn't actually born in 1 AD. A lot of people believe, and I think what's most credible, he was born in 5 BC. But it doesn't change the fact that those dates and that transition between the nomenclature was done intentionally to revolve around what was perceived as the date of the birth of Christ. So it's a moot point. But what this does mean is that in the exact same way that BC and AD revolve around what was perceived to be the birth of Christ, Common Era revolves around that too. But it's particularly annoying and malevolent because they've done it explicitly to remove the reference to Christ from BC and the reference to our Lord in AD. It can't be allowed. I am pleased to see in some circles pushback when I see creators and influencers using CE and BCE. At least certain audiences resent it and push back on it. That's good. There's not enough of it. I think it's one of those things like saying Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays. It's a tiny little argument that doesn't seem to have a whole lot of consequence. But then when you think about the why behind it, why are we having this fight? It reflects very deeply on the core struggle of our age, which is, are we going to choose to be a people who are focused divinely? Are we focused on God? Do we acknowledge the existence of God? Do we worship him in our lives? Do we revere him in our culture, in our government, in our politics, our society? Or do we pretend God doesn't exist? Do we try to leave him behind as a figment of the dark ages, right? When the church held us back from science and back when we believed in superstitious, silly nonsense like fairies and giants and ogres. And God is along with them. No. We can't allow that to happen. And we have to do that by fighting for our symbols. When there's a war or there's a battle, great cost is expended in terms of lives and ammunition to protect the person bearing the flag. Why does it matter? Who cares? It's just a piece of cloth, right? Fight for the king, fight for your general, fight for tactical advantage over a piece of land. Why a flag? Well, because a flag is your symbol. People rally to that symbol. As long as that flag is flying, it means that you still have control of that particular area, and it does wonders for the morale of your troop. It tells them where to go, it orients them, and if that flag falls, you're beginning to lose the battle. And there are many stories of a flag bearer falling, the flag falling to the ground, and then someone risking their lives to snatch it up, and they end up saving their fate in the battle because now the people have something to rally towards. And so when you see something small like AD and BC, or Merry Christmas, don't denigrate those as irrelevant, as little casualties of the culture war that are kind of comical to laugh about how people fight over it, but I'm above this. I'm in the more philosophical world of true political debate. No, that's your flag. That's important. If that falls, you've lost something very significant, even though you might not realize it.